Here I am again, asking questions, waiting to be moved. I am so unsure of my perception. What I thought I knew, I don't seem to. Where is the turn so I can get back to what I believe in, back to the old me? And God, please hear my call. I am afraid for me. Love has burned me raw. I need your healing, please.
Hi everyone, it is Kiara, aka Project Bib, and I wanted to do a video today on Friday, March 1st, as a kickoff to March being the month of Endometriosis Awareness Month. As you all know, whoever is, for those who are following my journey, I do suffer from stage 4 endometriosis. So I just thought it would be really, really great to create this video, talk about my journey, and just get the awareness out. You can never have enough awareness regarding this disease, and I just wanted to do my part as a woman who suffers from endometriosis and tell you all my story, my symptoms, and how I cope with endo and the challenges that I face with having this disease. I'm also wearing yellow. Yellow is the color for Endometriosis Awareness Month. So for any of those who are suffering with endometriosis, or you have a friend, a sister, a wife, a coworker that you know that suffers from endometriosis, just wear something yellow if you can. Spring is coming up. Yellow is such a beautiful color, and support those who are suffering with this disease. So I just wanted to begin with telling you all how I found out that I had endometriosis. So I didn't know what endometriosis was until December of 2010, when one night I ended up having severe abdominal cramping, which led me to having to go to emergency because the pain was just unbearable. And after a whole bunch of doctors just looking at me and trying to figure out what was wrong with this girl who was in excruciating pain, they decided to conduct a few more tests on me. And after having a CAT scan and a transvaginal ultrasound done, they found that there was 2 large cysts, one on my left ovary and one on my right ovary, ranging between, I think the left was 5 centimeters and the right cyst on my right ovary was at 6 centimeters. Now it was at that point where the doctor said, or the doctor in emergency said, we think these cysts are caused by a condition called endometriosis, which we think that you might have. And we suggest that, once you get out of the hospital, and we suggest that you connect with your family doctor to further investigate this condition and see if you have it or not. So that was in December, and in January I started to do a lot more research on this condition and ended up connecting with my family doctor in January. At the same time, like I said, I was doing research on the condition, and I ended up finding someone in the city who specialized in dealing with women who have endometriosis. So when I met up with my family doctor, we spoke about my condition, and I had asked her if she could please put a referral for me to see this doctor who had amazing reviews on treating women who suffered from endometriosis. So that was January, but it wasn't until June that I could get in with this doctor. So June rolls around, and between that time, I never had another incident after that. Like, there was no excruciating pain. I didn't end up in the hospital between that time. It was crazy. So June rolls around, and this doctor conducted more tests and more transvaginal ultrasounds, and the test now showed that the cysts on my ovaries were growing. The one on my left was now at 6 centimeters, and the one at my right had grown to 7 centimeters. And when this doctor, this endometriosis specialist, saw the results, he basically said to me that any cysts need to be removed as soon as possible. Because the cysts are over 5 centimeters, the reason why we have to operate as soon as possible is that there's a strong possibility that these cysts could rupture. And if these cysts were to rupture, you would be in even more excruciating pain. And not only that, it could cause a lot of damage to the ovaries and the reproductive organs that are around that region. So I accepted and said yes to having the surgery. It was to be laser laparoscopic surgery, and I had it on August 18th, 2011. And what the doctor thought was supposed to be a 2.5-hour surgery ended up being double that. It was 4.5 hours because of how large the cysts were and trying to remove those cysts off my ovaries. These cysts were stuck to my ovaries, and those cysts were stuck to my pelvis wall. And at that point, after surgery, the doctor diagnosed me with stage 4 endometriosis. So it's crazy how quickly I found out about it, and how quickly I was able to get the help that I needed to remove the cyst. And so that's basically how I found out and how I was treated right away. Now, upon doing a lot of research on the disease, I soon found out that, yes, that there was other stuff that I was experiencing that were very related to symptoms of endometriosis, but I had no clue that they were endometriosis symptoms. So, for example, I got my period at a very young age. I got my period when I was 10 years old. And though there are lots of theories behind what causes endometriosis, one of the theories is women, getting your period at a very young age. So for me, I got it at 10 years old. Even though I did not have the poster endometriosis symptom, which is a lot of women will experience excruciating, horrible menstrual cramping every cycle. I didn't have that at all. Growing up, I had pain-free cycles, and they were they were on time all the time. So my cycles were every 28 days on the dot. However, I did have all the other side effects of endometriosis. So growing up, probably around the ages of 13 and on, I did suffer from severe PMS. I was very, very emotional before my period. And, growing up as a young child, and, my mom, like, we didn't know, that what I was experiencing was not right and that something was off. It was always just, well, you know what? You've got PMS. This is something that happens before your period, but then when you get your period, you'll be all balanced and back to normal again. Well, I had PMS, but it was very severe for me, and that was not right. It was not normal. And also now, as the years went by, and I started being sexually active, intercourse was very painful for me. And that's another symptom of having endometriosis, is experiencing painful intercourse. So that is something that I've had to deal with, and I still deal with today. There are good days and there are bad days where intercourse can be very painful for me. I have also experienced painful bowel movements. So every bowel movement that I have, it almost it does feel like there is a stabbing knife going up my bum hole. I know this is TMI. I'm sorry, but I'm bringing awareness for those who are watching this video and might be like, hey, everything that Kiara's saying, I have that, or I think I might have that. So yeah, my bowel movements have been absolutely painful. So it's basically every time I have a bowel movement, I'm in tears. Frequent trips to the bathroom to go pee. So I'm constantly going pee. Pain in the pelvis area and the back, like my lower back. Certain foods I will eat. So if I eat foods that have gluten, coffee, sugar, I will bloat. I will get very, very bloated, and it's a feeling of just really like bloatingness. You feel full. I do get fatigue quite a bit, especially kind of at the end of the night. I'll be like 9 o'clock and then I'll just be like, I have to go to bed, or that feeling of constantly just being tired. And then there's other symptoms. So once in a couple of cycles, I'll get a symptom of a sharp piercing pain just below the rib area here. It feels like someone, again, took a knife and just stuck it right below the rib area. It's very quite painful. And I would say that's probably it in terms of my symptoms that I've experienced with having endometriosis. I do bruise easily, and I think that's probably it. So doing that research, even though I didn't have painful periods every month, I had experienced all these other symptoms that were attributed to endometriosis. And upon doing my research, I was able to be like, yes, that's me. So now that you guys have heard the type of symptoms that I experience with having endometriosis, I want to just talk to you guys about how I try to deal with this daily chronic pain / symptoms, and how I try to make my endo better. So for me, it's, and obviously there are days where I'm really, really good at doing this, and then there are days where I just fall off the wagon and don't do this at all. And I think with being March and Endometriosis Awareness Month, I really want to reconnect with the things that help me with my endo symptoms. So, which are, first of all, I would have to say eating healthy, staying away from gluten. I can't, now that my body's getting older, I'm really, really feeling the side effects of what gluten can do. And like I said, if it's something like me having bread or, wheat and flour and all that amazing, yummy stuff, it's just like my body can't handle it. I'll get bloated, and that will then lead to constipation, and then that will lead to really awful, painful bowel movements. So definitely staying away from gluten, so the whole organs are not inflamed, because endo likes to kind of feed off that type of food and cause the organs to get inflamed. So staying away from that. I do try to do exercises that are not too strenuous. So exercises that will promote blood flow and circulation. So yoga, Pilates, walking. I try to every 2 weeks, I do go for acupuncture sessions, and that has really helped again with just that, stimulating the blood flow, the circulation, just ensuring that there's flow traveling through my body, and that has really helped. Gosh, what else do I do? I definitely, I don't drink. I try to stay away as much as I can possible from alcohol, but that's not only attributed to me trying to lead a healthy endo lifestyle, but also I'm in the middle of trying to conceive a family, so that has really helped. So those are the type of things that I try to really improve on. And like I said, guys, like there are days where I will have bread and I'll have sugar. I try to stay away from sugar or chocolate, caffeine, which is really, really, now, like, it's just upsetting my stomach. And just, I try to eat organic as much as possible. I try to stay away from beauty products or any type of products that have harsh chemicals. So yeah, eating organic, trying to stay away from products that expose harsh chemicals. Just women who have endo can't seem to break down these harsh elements. So those are stuff that I try to stay away from. But it's hard, I've got to tell you. Like, I've got such a sweet tooth that, there are days where I just want a freaking cupcake, and I'm paying the consequences. So so that's really it in terms of me trying to make myself lead a very friendly endo lifestyle. And then I guess, in terms of the challenges that endometriosis has, I guess, bestowed upon me, I would have to say that I think for me, the most challenging thing of having endometriosis is it's not been the pain. The pain I have a high tolerance for right now at this point in my life, but it's probably been the effect that endometriosis has had with me creating a family. And I think this has probably been the most hardest thing for me to deal with finding out that I have endometriosis. And being the worst case of having endometriosis, could impose that I have problems with my fertility. And it's been the most challenging, scariest, confusing, upsetting part of dealing with my endometriosis. The fact that this disease has caused fertility challenges, I think that's what breaks my heart the most. It's like, I can deal with the awful chronic pain, but when a doctor says, that having a family could be challenging, that scares the fucking shit out of me. And I think that's the most upsetting, and that I'm trying to deal with every day of just the past couple of years of being diagnosed with endometriosis. It is a feeling of this fear that because of this disease, I may not be able to be a mom, which is very scary. It's being angry at your body for having this disease, and for having this disease that, doesn't make you feel like a woman. And I try to deal with that every day. And it's hard, and I'm still trying to deal with it. But I would have to say that the most hardest part of dealing with this disease is the emotional aspect of having endometriosis. It's the emotional aspect of that intercourse is painful, and intercourse should never be painful. It's the emotional aspect that endometriosis has damaged my reproductive organs. And what does that mean? Does that mean I can never be a mom? So I think that's probably the most heartbreaking of this disease. And I wanted to do this video to show that, to bring awareness, and to show everyone that this is a very serious condition, not only physically, in that we suffer from pain every day, but we also suffer from the emotional pain and that fear that endometriosis may have caused us to never experience life inside of us. And it's something that I have to deal with every day. And it's been very hard and very sad. So, I hope that whoever is watching this channel that may have been recently diagnosed with endometriosis or have been living it with all their life, I dedicate this video to all you girls, and know that you girls are not alone. And what I wish to achieve in being a woman that has endometriosis is leading a lifestyle that is healthy, a lifestyle or a life that I love my body, because there are days where I'm not very happy with my body and what endo has done inside of my body. And I also want to achieve the status, or I guess the dream, of being a mother. And that, to show that women with endometriosis all stages, from stage 1 to the most severe stage, can be mothers, and we have every right to be mothers. And it's just not right that we have to deal with this emotional pain. So, this video has obviously turned into a hot crying mess, but these are true feelings of someone who suffers from endometriosis and the emotional pain that it brings upon my life, and the fear that it's bestowed on me in terms of my fertility. And I just hope that one day I'll be able to show the world and show everyone that I was able to create life in me and have a family of my own. So yeah, I think that's probably the most challenging part of dealing with this disease. Thank you all for watching. Please support those who are suffering from endometriosis. Wear yellow, give them a hug. Tell those who you know that have endometriosis that you care about them, that you love them, and that they have your support. Thank you so much, and that's my story. Bye.